A win is a win is a win, and the Indiana Fever without Caitlain Clark.
I think our ball moves differently. What we run is different. She has such gravity and her ability.
Go up against the Las Vegas Aces and last year's MVP, A'ja Wilson.
Not just to be the top of the scouting report, but her ability to make everybody better with the ball in her hands.
And walk away with a W, 80-70. Sophie Cunningham has been hot to trot.
So some of the things that we run are different when she's on the floor.
Sophie Cunningham has been on fire.
Than when she's not. We run some more off-ball stuff. A lot less on-ball action.
A win is easy to celebrate when your generational superstar is dropping logo threes and selling out arenas. But how do you topple a back-to-back champion when that superstar is sitting behind the bench in designer sweats, nursing a groin strain, and every hot take merchant on social media is already carving your playoff tombstone? That's the riddle the Indiana Fever answered on July 24, and the solution flipped the WNBA power rankings on their head. Stick around, because what happened inside Gainbridge Fieldhouse will make you rethink everything you know about one-player teams. 2 nights earlier, the Fever had been slapped around twice by the rampaging New York Liberty. Their record stalled at an awkward 12-12, good enough for relevance, but hardly a guarantee of late summer basketball. Then the injury report hit. Caitlain Clark, right groin strain, out indefinitely. No practice, only rehab and stationary shooting drills under the watchful eyes of the training staff. Sports talk panels pounced. Take away Clark's gravity, they scoffed, and you're left with a middling roster that can't create a shot, can't defend the paint, and definitely can't survive a playoff series. Twitter, X, seemed to agree, with trending tags like Fever Freefall racking up millions of doom scrolls. In Indianapolis, the vibe was heavier than Midwest humidity, hopeful fans wondering whether the feel-good story of spring had already slipped into a midsummer nightmare. Enter the Las Vegas Aces, the league's resident measuring stick. On paper, their 12-11 mark looked mortal. But swagger travels. Banners from consecutive titles, an MVP who devours double teams for breakfast, and a locker room brimming with Olympic gold. Rumors, unverified but spicy, circulated that A'ja Wilson was tired of hearing Clark's name attached to every rating spike and sponsorship deal. Reports claimed teammates joked about restoring the natural order once the rookie phenom was sidelined. Whether true or not, it set the stage for a contest dripping with subtext: hype versus hardware, clicks versus chips. The champs arrived grinning, stretching, and firing warm-up threes like they owned the building. On the opposite baseline, Indiana's players tightened ponytails, exchanged nods, and stored every slight for later use. Head coach Stephanie White faced a chess problem. Subtract the league's premier shot creator and still generate 80-plus points against elite defenders. Her answer? Add motion, add muscle, and unleash confidence. She slid Sophie Cunningham into the starting 5, another ball handler who also rebounds like a power forward, and instructed her spacing-obsessed group to cut harder, screen wider, and hunt the extra pass until a mismatch screamed for exploitation. Most crucially, she grabbed Kelsey Mitchell during an early timeout and whispered the 5 words every microwave scorer longs to hear. Let it fly. It's going. The rest of the bench heard it too, and a murmur of belief rippled down the line. For 3 quarters, Mitchell looked cursed. The usually silky lefty clanged jumpers, blew layups, and wore the worry across her brow. 4 for 19, crowd restless. ESPN flashing cold zone charts in unforgiving HD. Yet White never yanked her. Teammates kept dapping her up, and late in the third, something clicked. A high pick freed her for a pull-up, swish. 35 seconds later, she split a double and kissed a scoop layup off glass, swish. Suddenly the rim was ocean-wide. In the final frame, she scored 9 of her 21 points on 4 of 5 shooting, added 4 dimes, and ran the show like it had always been hers. The same pundits who tweeted inconsistent 2 hours earlier scrambled for new adjectives: resilient, clutch, leader. Mitchell proved the scouting report outdated in real time. While cameras chased Mitchell's redemption, Sophie Cunningham kept torching nets with clinical efficiency. Over the previous 6 games, she'd averaged 13.7 points, 4.7 boards, and a mind-bending 58.1% from deep, best in the league for July. The Aces tried switching, then face guarding, then bump-and-run tactics borrowed from cornerbacks. None of it mattered. 3 of 4 from distance, 15 points total. Each make timed like a momentum guillotine on Vegas runs. Analysts now link her name to 6th Player of the Year chatter, though Fever fans joke the award might need renaming if the red-hot Sophie experience continues. Beyond the points, she snared key rebounds, initiated secondary breaks, and jawed just enough to remind the champs that swagger is a transferable skill. Indiana's offense earned headlines, but the box score's secret sauce was defense. Natasha Howard, fresh off a mid-season trade many labeled nice depth, nothing more, thrashed Vegas on both ends. 18 points, 13 boards, 3 robberies of lazy passes. Aaliyah Boston pounded the paint until opposing bigs settled for fadeaways. The collective mission? Every Aces trip ends in 1 contested shot and 0 second chances. Final tally? Las Vegas 5 for 25 behind the arc, 70 points total. A season low. The Fever's slogan, one-shot possessions, was no longer motivational poster fluff. It was a game plan, executed with ruthless consistency. Each stop ignited runouts, corner threes, or Mitchell crossovers that sent defenders sliding like toddlers on an icy driveway. 35 ticks remained, led at 5, nervous energy crackling. Enter Ari McDonald, a 5'6" bolt of condensed adrenaline. She'd already nailed 2 threes, yet this possession wasn't in any playbook. Isolation up top, Wilson shading, defenders barking switches. McDonald bobbed the ball, planted, stepped back, and launched a rainbow that must have brushed the ceiling. Net. Bedlam. Her stat line, 9 points, 4 assists, 2 steals, looked modest, but that single shot detonated the comeback hopes of a dynasty. Gainbridge Fieldhouse trembled. Courtside mics caught Clark hollering loud enough to earn a playful warning from refs she'd spent weeks roasting. Fever bench exploded, and Vegas slumped into the timeout huddle, wondering how momentum had slipped through championship fingers. Buzzer sounded, scoreboard froze on 80-70, and handshakes carried an unmistakable subtext. Respect, renegotiated. Indiana climbed to 13-12, leapfrogging Vegas in the standings and clinching a 2-1 season series tiebreaker that could rewrite playoff seeding math 6 weeks from now. They had done it with balance, 5 players in double figures, and with swagger borrowed from the very teams that once mocked them. The narrative had shifted overnight, from one-woman show to deep, dangerous, and ahead of schedule. And here's the kicker: Clark will be back. Imagine this version of the Fever, spacing the floor for a healthy number 22, or locking opponents in 40 minutes of basketball hell while she orchestrates a symphony of logo bombs. Fans in Indianapolis aren't just dreaming of playoffs anymore. They're Googling parade routes. So, what did we learn tonight? That doubt is fertilizer for teams willing to get their hands dirty. That Kelsey Mitchell's heart beats just as loudly as any rookie sensation's highlight reel. That Sophie Cunningham can swing a playoff series with a single flick of the wrist. And that defense, grim, grinding, old-school defense, still writes the final chapter in championship stories. If this breakdown lit a fire under you, smash that like button, slam Red Hot Sophie in the comments, and ring the bell so you're first in line when Clark returns and the Fever chase an ending nobody predicted back in June. Because if July 24th proved anything, it's that every time you think this team's script is finished, a brand new page sets itself on fire. See you in the next one.